Deep within the dark realms of Undercity, Hawk Gaming presents WoW Talk Live with your host, Renegade Hawk.
Help! These little ones have taken our scrolls and turned themselves into beasts. We have dispelling scrolls, but you will need to get close enough to use them. Watch out!
Okay, Kelly, can you hear me now? Just let me know if the sound is good, if you can hear me. And as always, somebody has to call. Okay, we're going to let that call go to voicemail. And I'll get it later. Okay, Kelly, can you hear me now? Okay, so can just one more confirmation, but you can hear me, and we'll just move on. Hopefully everything is working good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about today. Apparently there's a bug in the game that when I open the game and I start messing around with it, the sound goes out. So I'm going to have to figure that one out. But for now, we'll just go ahead and proceed as is. Okay, so I'm doing great, Tactical MPs. How are you doing today? So, as I was saying, there's so many quality of life changes in the game that often we don't even look at it as a quality of life change. We don't look at it as something that is even there, really. For example, now we're going to go over a comprehensive list that I've made up, that I've had some of you, some of my viewers, some of my friends that are no longer even on the game even, come up with that they can think of, as well as some that I thought of. And we're going to talk about each one of these and what you think. Do you think it should, is it a good quality of life? Is it a bad quality of life change? And if it's a bad one, do you think it should be removed? Okay, first one is auto loot. If you played back in vanilla, you know what I'm talking about. It was back in the day when you had to individually click on each item. If you killed a mob that had 5 items on it, you had to click each individual item in order to pick it up. If you killed 15 mobs, you had to click on each individual mob and loot each individual mob by clicking on each and every item. So Blizzard went ahead and changed that. It's been some time ago, actually, where you can click on a little radio button that will let you auto loot. And then sometime after that, AoE loot, where you, if you've killed 15, 20, 100 different mobs, you can now loot one time and everything will go in your bag. As long as you got bag space, it's automatically going to go in your bag. If you don't have bag space, it'll mail it to you. So what do you guys think about this as a quality of life change? And do you think that this change should be allowed in, for example, the vanilla classic World of Warcraft? Because quite honestly, this is one of the more, I guess you could say, harmless ones. Hey Rutger, good to see you, man. Nothing really so far, Rutger. We're just getting started. We're talking about the quality of life changes today. The things like auto loot and AoE loot. Are they a good thing or a bad thing? And how do they affect the game? In my way of looking at it, auto loot and AoE loot just makes it easier for you to go in. For example, let's say you go into, and I'm going to use one of my favorites, Zulgrub or Zul'Farrak even, and you're killing multiple mobs. You've got them all gathered up. You've killed 45, 50 mobs. You click it one time, it's going to automatically put it in your bag. If you cannot carry any more in your bags, it's going to send it to you in the mail. So, in my way of looking at it, that quality of life, the auto loot and the auto loot and AoE loot, I don't think that is a bad thing. In fact, I see that as a positive quality of life change. Now, who remembers back when you had to have one specification, one spec? You couldn't have dual specs. You could not change on the fly. It wasn't like you could go into a dungeon and every fight go ahead and change your spec. You had to be for about one spec. One spec only. Okay, if you wanted to change, you had to go to town, pay your trainer to unlearn your talents, learn everything new, pay gold, and so on. Now, obviously, Blizzard has changed that a lot. They had dual spec, where you could have two specs. For example, a warrior could be a tank and a DPS warrior. Or a healer, let's say a priest, could be a holy priest as well as a shadow priest. And they could do both. But now, Blizzard has even went one step further and made it so that you can change anytime you want. If you are an inscriptionist, or you have an inscriptionist, or you have the tome, or scroll, rather, whatever it's called now, you can change anywhere you want. I mean, you don't have to be in town. You don't have to pay. It's just, but that's it. You can change anytime. So, what do you guys think so far? Do you think that the AoE loot, auto loot, and dual spec changes are for the positive or for the negative? And if they are for the negative, what's your reason for it? Why do you feel that one or two quality of life changes are for the worse? Now, we are going to be going a little bit longer than normal tonight. I have started doing my live streams roughly an hour to an hour and a half. Today we are going to go at least 2 hours, maybe a little bit longer depending, but at least 2 hours. Now, also for those of you who are interested, be sure to hang around and be close by, because when BlizzCon goes live, it will be live on this channel. I am going to keep every possible live feed from anything having to do with World of Warcraft on this channel. If it is World of Warcraft related, look no further. Here, this is it. Now, personally, I think the dual spec thing is okay. Being able to change on the fly is okay. But Blizzard is constantly complaining that there's not enough gold sink in the game. Okay, there's not enough places for people to spend gold. And people are hoarding gold. Well, if you change it back to where if you change your spec, you're going to pay, there you go. Some of your gold's going out the door. People are still going to change because they have to. They want to go in with their guild. They want to be a healer. But when they're not in a raid with their guild, they want to be DPS. So they're going to change regardless. Now, another thing that is a large quality of life change, for me at least, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to agree, is flying. Being able to mount up, take off into the air, bypass all of the things under you, be able to zoom in, go straight to the mob you're trying to kill, straight to the node of ore or herbs or whatever, get what you need, get out. You're done. You know, flying, in my way of looking at it, is a big change. Now, I'm a little bit torn on the flying. Okay? Part of me says flying is one of the greatest things they ever put in the game. Another part of me says they shouldn't even have it in the game. Now, the reason being, before anybody gets aggravated and starts telling me how crazy I am or whatever, if you're flying and you're leveling your character, like for example, Battle for Azeroth drops and you're going straight in, you've not leveled in that area, and you're able to hop up on your mount and take off into the air. Well, you're going to bypass a lot. You're not going to see it. You're not going to know where it's at. You're not going to know anything about that zone because you're flying over top of it. You know, you're missing it. So when you're leveling your character the first time through, I say absolutely not. No flying. I think it's a horrible idea. If you're leveling your 15th character, of course, you know, make it as easy as possible. Go ahead and be able to fly, be able to do whatever's going to make it easier. Now, I will say that I hope, and big time, I'm in great hope that they do not introduce flying into the game of World of Warcraft Classic. The reason being, Classic is Classic. You know, you walked until you hit level 40. Then you got your mount. You did not get an epic mount, but you got a mount. When you hit 60, you got an epic mount, if you had enough money. But you still was on the ground. You could still be attacked and dismounted, and it just made, I don't know, it just made things a lot easier in my way of looking at it, and a whole lot more realistic, you know. So I'm hoping they never, ever give flying in the classic World of Warcraft. So what are your thoughts on this, guys? Rucker, Tactical, Kelly, anybody else who's in live chat, let me know. What do you think? Do you believe that this is a that the changes we've went over so far? What are your thoughts? Now, I will say that the Battle.net store is one of the biggest changes that I've ever seen. And the reason being, okay, Rucker, we'll be here, buddy, when you come back. And the reason being, it is a large collection of quality of life changes, okay? You want to transfer from server Alexstrasza over to the server called Thrall, let's say. That's what I done years ago. But let's say that's what you want to do. You can do that. You have to pay for it, but you can do it. Now you don't have to pay in real money. You can simply use gold, buy a token, take the money that you get from the token, put it in Battle.net currency, and go ahead and buy your transfer. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But name changes, level boost, you know, boost your character all the way to 110. Faction change, you're Horde, but you want to be Alliance. You know, go ahead and change on over to the Alliance. Or if you're Alliance and you want to be Horde, you can change over. Race change, you're a Tauren and you want to be undead, or you're undead and you want to be an Orc. hit the button, pay for it, and you're done. Appearance change. You are a hunchback orc. You want to be an upright orc, or your skin is lime green and you want to be dark green. You can change. You can change your hairstyle, your hair color. Just a lot of different changes. And of course, the biggest one out of the Battle.net store would be being able to buy mounts, being able to buy battle pets, and heck, you can even transfer your whole guild. If you have a guild that is got 500 people and you're a guild master, you want to change, you can change and transfer out with the whole guild. Guild bank, guild name, everything, tabard, the whole 9 yards. And the only way you would have to change anything is if somebody on that new server already has a guild named the same one as what you have. But, then if your guild mates want to join you, they can. They do get I believe, an email in game saying that your guild is transferred to this server. Go ahead and join us, that kind of thing. I'm not real sure how that works, because quite honestly, I have had a few guilds that I did transfer, but mostly it was just guilds that I used as a storage area. Now, Battle.net balance, as we've already went over a little bit, Battle.net balance is something that now you're able to use to buy games, buy services, buy a virtual ticket, buy whatever. And I think that it's I think it's a good thing. I think that it's going to allow a lot of people the freedom to be able to go ahead and go to BlizzCon, virtual ticket, or what have you. But I also think in a lot of ways it's another gold sink. Okay, it's Blizzard's way of saying, if you pay X amount and buy this token, we're going to give you X amount to spend, for example, $15 to be able to spend on the website. Now you can buy games, game time, whatever. But it is a process. I mean, you got to buy either from the store or buy it on the auction house, sell it for gold, or redeem it for Battle.net balance, and then you can buy whatever you want. So that's always a big gold sink. And now here's one that I know a lot of you are going to not agree with me possibly on: transmog. What are your thoughts on transmog? Me personally, I think that it's a good thing. I don't think it should be allowed in, for example, World of Warcraft Classic. And there's a reason. Okay? If you go and it's allowed, and let's say the items you pick up in Classic is now able to be used over on the paid, current servers, Battle for Azeroth servers, okay? Let's say that's the case. Now, you're going to be able to get items that nobody else can get on live servers, and you can get it from the Classic. If you're able to transmog it, it's not really fair to the ones that don't play on the live servers, or the Classic server, I guess. Also, now that does bring another thought to mind. What are your thoughts about being able to transfer to and from a vanilla server. Okay? Let's say Rutger goes in and creates a, I don't know, let's say a druid on a vanilla server. He goes in and he's getting all kinds of loot, things that you cannot even find or that have been took out of the game or whatever on the current servers. We're going to call them live servers. And yet he's being able to get them now. So his idea is, hey, I've got my bank full. I've got my guild bank full. I want to go ahead and transfer back to the regular server. And then he sells the stuff. He sells it for massive amounts of gold. Okay. Now, what are your thoughts about this? Do you think that should be allowed or should not be allowed? Just wanted to get a mic check here. On my end, it looks like it's working fine, but I just wanted to make sure. Also, one other thing that I will say that I kind of liked, but when they took it out of the game, and when I say I like it for current WoW. I don't like the idea of it being in the classic WoW, and that's reforging. You know, in the current WoW that we have, I think reforging would be a great item to add back. You're able to go in, let's say an item does not have agility on it, and you need agility. Go reforge it. Make it have agility, you know. And now, transmog, you're saying yes, tactical? Or reforging? Because, in all honesty, I like both. I like the reforging for its own reason. And I love transmog, but at the same time, I think it could be a two-edged sword. Now, one thing I will say, if they add heirlooms, now, don't get me wrong, I am a huge supporter of heirlooms. Love them. I collect them. I have every heirloom I can get my hands on. If it's something I have to go out and quest to do, or if it's just something I need rep to do, or just have to go pay gold for. Love them. Absolutely love the heirlooms. And, okay, yes, for transmog. Okay, and tactical, what do you see as a plus for the transmog, and do you see any negatives on it? Do you see any negatives as far as the transmog at all? In, like, for example, in vanilla? No, like I was saying, heirlooms and experience potions, they go hand in hand. Absolutely, they go hand in hand, because if you have all your heirlooms, you're getting, what is it, I want to say 70, maybe 85% or closer to 100 of bonus experience. And if you have the experience potions, heck, some of them can give you 300, 400 times experience for a set amount of time. You can burn it up, man. I mean, you can get 4, 5, 6 sometimes 8 or 10 levels in a 15 to 20 minute period if you plan it out and you have the heirlooms and your experience potion. Now, just for that reason, I hope that the heirlooms and the experience potions are not a thing of the classic WoW. And just off the top of my head, how many of you think we will be hearing an announcement about classic WoW and when it's going to be released at BlizzCon this year? Personally, I don't know. I hope we do. I hope we do, but who knows? Okay, for people that didn't get a chance to level back in the day, have a chance to get those items. I didn't get a chance to play back then, so it would be a chance for me to get the transmog items. You know, that's actually a very good. Okay, what about now? What about now? Is that better? Okay, I'm hoping you can hear me now. Let me know. Somebody let me know. And what was the what part did it go out on? What was I saying when it went out? I'll try to recap a little bit. But well, I'll just start with heirlooms. Heirlooms and experience potions I don't think would be a good thing for the... I don't think it would be good. I don't think it would be good at all for Classic. Because it would just make it so that people who have a lot of gold will be able to come in and zoom through 1 to 60 in no time. And I don't think that's a good idea. Now, the account bound items, as I was saying, if you go to, you're playing in Classic and you go to Zul'Grub, you kill the Bloodlord Manacor or whatever his name is, and he drops his mount. He drops the Raptor mount, which I would absolutely love to have. I've always wanted the mounts from Zul'Grub. Never got any of them yet. Oh, okay. Wow, it went out way back when. Okay. The transmog, I'm thinking that you're right. I believe that what you've said does make a lot of sense. I believe that it definitely does make a lot of sense. Okay. Okay, please hold on 1 minute, guys. Had something just pop up. The audio stream current bitrate is lower than the recommendation. We recommend that you use an audio stream bitrate of 128. Okay, well, I'll have to work with that later. As long as you guys can hear me, and everything, then we're good. But as far as the transmog, I believe that it's not going to hurt nobody. Okay, it's not anything that's going to lower the quality of the game. It's not anything that's going to make the game useless, or it's going to give you an advantage. So I don't see a thing wrong with that. The heirlooms and experience potions, I have a very big, very, very, very big problem with that. And the reason being that if you have the gold, you can pretty well pay to zoom through 1 to 60 in no time, and then, I mean, you're not experiencing the game as it's meant to be. Now, as I said, the account-bound items, I'm hoping in one way that it is allowed in Classic, because that way we can go ahead and get mounts that we've not had, but that was took out of the game, and we can still use them. Now, what are your thoughts so far on all this, guys? As far as everything so far. I know that one thing that a lot of people use, and I'm not gonna lie, I do use the looking for raid, looking for group thing, and back in vanilla, there was no looking for group for quite some time. Looking for group was added later as a quality of life, but it was not there at the beginning. Looking for raid, back in the day, there was no looking for raid, no looking for or no heroic raids, mythic plus raids, anything of that nature. If you wanted to raid, you had, well, for example, you had your molten core. Molten core was the same no matter what group you was in. It was the same. There was no going in and doing molten core with a mythic group or molten core heroic and getting better gear. Everybody had the same opportunity, because it was exactly the same. Now, I'm not going to say that everybody would get the same loot, okay? Obviously, that's always been random, but that's a good thing, I think it's a good thing. So, but as far as looking for raid, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think looking for raid should be allowed back in vanilla, or no? And if you do think it should be allowed back in vanilla, why? What is the pros and cons in your eyes on having the looking for raid back in vanilla? And like I said, already, the raid difficulty levels. Rucker, work is really busy, damn it. But I'm sitting now again. Okay, Rucker, welcome back. And Rucker, what are your thoughts on, for example, looking for raid being added possibly to vanilla WoW, or classic WoW as we're calling it now? Do you think it should or should not be allowed? I mean, like I said, back in vanilla, we only had one raid difficulty. Hard. Everything. It was, everybody had the same. There was no, heroic and mythic plus, and, it just, It was normal. Everybody had the same setup. Now, I will have to say that I think Cross Realm is a great thing. Okay, just making sure everybody can still hear me. Let me know, somebody type in. But I think Cross Realms, for example, I love Cross Realm. I think it's a godsend. I think it is a great thing to have, and the reason being, it allows people who okay, well, I happen to agree. I think Looking for the Raid has no place in Classic. I agree. Now, the Cross Realm, I love it in one way, but I still don't think it has a place in Classic. Okay, back in Classic, if you wanted to play with me, you had to be on my server. Okay, if you wanted to play with me or talk to me, you had to be Horde if I was Horde, or Alliance if I was Alliance. You could not be on one side 10 different servers away and talking to me as an Alliance and me being a Horde. It didn't happen. Now, I have a very dear friend of mine who plays Overwatch. He plays Overwatch all the time. And as such, we talk still yet. Even though he is in Overwatch and I'm in World of Warcraft. I got messages from him a couple days ago, what time I was in WoW doing my world quest. Now, battle tags, I'm torn on. Battle tags can be a great thing. My worst vanilla experience. My worst vanilla experience would have had to have been me and my guild, which was called Is a Living Legend. It was on Alex Straza many years ago. Back in vanilla, of course, 14 years ago, 15 years ago now. And we had made it all the way through the Zul instance. We got all the way up to the Panther boss. The mount drops, and rather than them even give anybody else a change, rather than the guild master say, hey, whoever has the most DKP, and if you don't know what that is, that's dragon kill points. It was a big thing back then. But rather than him give anybody an opportunity, he automatically grabs it himself and says, okay, group, let's keep going. And it's like, hell no. I've been after this mount since the very beginning. And you're just going to take it and leave everybody else with no opportunity to even get it? Not going to happen. And I logged off for the night because I knew if I didn't, I was going to give him one more of a earful. So, and then I probably would have been kicked from the guild. So, I never did get the mount either. So, it is one that I'm hoping to get when Classic starts. Now, as I said, battle tags I look at as a great thing and a great curse as well. The reason being, I think it's a great thing, but I can say, hey, Rutger, Tactical, whoever else here wants to add me to your battle tag in game, feel free. You know, it. In fact, hold on 1 minute. There's my battle tag number. Anybody here that wants to add me, feel free. But the reason that I say it's also a curse is, let's say you're talking to somebody, you're getting along great, you're great friends, all of a sudden you have a falling out. Okay? Or all of a sudden you just don't want to talk to them no more because they've said or done something that secretly just pissed you off. You don't want nothing to do with them ever again. As long as they got your battle tag, they're going to see you online. And your only other option is to go offline to everybody. You can't go offline to one person. Now, as far as I know at least. Now, if you can, that's great. But, you know what I'm saying. Also, the offline feature. You know, well, there you go, Rucker. You know, EU cannot battle tag US. You know, it's just, it don't work, sadly. But, you know, so you kind of got to be careful who you give your battle tag to. Because if not, the only option is to pay to get a new battle tag. Get a new one. But also, for those of you who used to play back in vanilla, this one will definitely hit home. And that is the removal of arrows and ammo. Now, arrows and ammo was a curse that plagued the hunters back in the day. In one way. Now, you could get, for example, I could go buy some crappy arrows and bullets for just, you know, a few gold. Or I could go spend a couple hundred gold and buy the best arrows and the best ammo in the game. And it gave me more DPS. So it made it, you know, great in that way. But by removing the arrows and the ammo, which will be back in Classic, that's already been confirmed, it will be back. So will the quivers and the ammo bag. By removing the arrows and the ammo, it made it easier. You don't take up bag space, because back then you had to have, you know, stacks upon stacks. I think it was 20 stack back then was the biggest you could get. And if you went into a raid and you only had 20 arrows, you wasn't going too far. I mean, they would kick you out if you didn't have what you needed. But now that you don't have to buy your arrows or your ammo, it takes up no bag space and no gold. You know, you don't have to waste gold. I'm quite happy they removed it. I know how many times I forgot to buy arrows and bullets when I was leveling my hunter. Oh, you and me too, my friend. You and me too. I would be leveling. I would go to town, or I would harf to town. I would go back to where I was, way on the other side of the zone, only to find out, crap, I didn't buy my arrows. I didn't buy my bullets. I'm empty, and I can't use my gun or my bow. So, in my way of looking at it, I'm kind of glad they did remove the arrows and the ammo pouches and the arrow quivers. But it will be back. We will be getting that back when we go to Classic. How many of you plan on playing in Classic? I know I do. And in fact, I may just start a new portion, or maybe even a new channel dedicated to Classic. Now, this channel will not be going away, obviously, but possibly a new channel dedicated to Classic by itself. And how many of you remember feeding your pets? A big quality of life change was when they removed feeding your pet loyalty. Okay, because used to be back in the day, you had to have your pet loyal to you, because if not, and you didn't, he was not loyal, he would run away. If you didn't feed him, he would do very little damage. You know, it's just the way it was. Hunters had to be at close range too. When they got in melee range, you couldn't shoot. Very good point, Tactical. Very good point. And you're right. You know, it used to be that, right, they had to be at range. Now, I mean, now I can walk right up to my target and still be able to shoot them. You know, I mean, so in a way, I think that, well, that's another quality of life change, I would say, but I'm not sure it's a good one or not. To me, I kind of like the way it was back in vanilla, when everything, you know, if you got close, you had to use hand to hand. If you wanted to shoot, you had to be back far enough. Maybe first do some vanilla stuff here, right, and see how popular it is. Would be a shame if you make a channel for it and it don't fly. I totally agree. Totally agree. And that's what I plan on doing for sure. How many of you remember packing food? I mean, massive amounts of food to feed your pet, keep your pet happy. If your pet was happy, he done more and he was loyal to you. If you didn't feed him, or when he died, you didn't feed him and bring him back up to full health, he got pissed and he didn't do no damage for you. That was just it. You know, so I'm glad they removed that. I'm glad they removed that, because now you don't have to feed your pet. You don't have to worry about him running off. It's just, you know, tame a pet, good. Also, you don't have to level your pet now. If you are 110 and you tame a pet that is level 15, boom, automatically he's 110. He is now your level. And also the weapon skills. Now, this for me, I will admit, I enjoyed the weapon skills, and I'm glad that will most likely be coming back in vanilla. For example, if a new bow fell, or a crossbow, I already had to have learned crossbows. I had to have leveled crossbows and have my crossbow skill up as far as it could go before I could really do damage with that crossbow. You know? And, you know, as a hunter, we could use axes, we could use bows, guns, crossbows, staffs, pretty well any kind of weapon. We could use pretty well any of it. And with that being said, we had to level each one. Everybody did. It wasn't just hunters. Everybody had to level their skill. You know, if you didn't Okay, what about now? Can you hear me now? Okay, guys, what about now? What, can you hear me? What was the last thing you was able to hear? Okay, I'm gonna have to figure that out. Okay, somebody let me know about learning bows and crossbows. Okay, yeah, the weapon skills. You had to learn how to do each and every weapon. You had to learn bows, crossbows, guns, swords. Every single weapon in the game you had to learn and level that profession. You had to. If not, most guilds... I was in a guild one time, and I had my gun, but quite honestly, I wanted to go over to using a bow, and I'd already learned my bow, but I hadn't really leveled it. Okay, I'd leveled my gun all the way up, and I didn't have my skill as high as I could on my bow. It was like 2. And the guild leader told me, he said, nope, I won't give you a bow or even a crossbow or anything like that because your skill level is so low. You want to have an opportunity to get something like that, level your skills. So that's what I done. I took like 2 weeks off and I leveled every possible weapon all the way up. Now, unarmed, disarmed. You know, being disarmed. Disarming, it was something that they did back in the day when PvP. And some PvE mobs would even disarm you. Not a lot, but some. So I'm kind of glad the disarm is gone as far as I know. If anybody knows that you can still be disarmed, let me know. Because so far I think it's gone. Also, the professions. Subcategories like weaponsmiths, armorsmith, transmute master, potion master, elixir master, that kind of thing. Is that even, something that's still around? I know that weapon master is not. I know that armor smith is not. More or less now it's all just blacksmithing. Used to be it was blacksmith and it was divided up. So, is that even a thing anymore? I'm not sure. Anybody know? Anybody got any input on that? Now, I do also have to... you can. Okay. Wow. Well, I didn't even know that you could still be disarmed. Thank you for letting me know, Technical. Now, in Cataclysm... Cataclysm brought about a few quality of life changes that some people didn't exactly care for. The barons being split up. Okay, you have South Barons, you have Northern Barons, and they say but it makes it easier for you to get from one leveling zone to another and turn in quests. I just don't. Myself, I liked the Barons the way the Barons was back in the day. Corny jokes and all. And then, of course, you got the mission tables and followers. Now, personally, I'm okay with it. just a little bit of passive gold, as long as it don't make its way back into the days of vanilla, I'll be fine with the mission table and the followers. What are your guys' thoughts on all this so far? Any input, any questions, any requests, anything at all? Let me know. Also, the Azerite power, the weekly catch-up, okay? That's a quality of life. It is. It's quality of life change. It makes it easier for, let's say, and I'm going to use Rucker as an example. Let's say he only is able to play 4 hours a day or 4 hours a week. If he does his Azerite power, like for example the Islands of Expedition, he can still get massive amounts of Azerite power every week. Now, one thing I am happy that they removed was reagents. You know, back in the day, you had to have, what was it? If you was I want to say a shaman, you had to have onks. If you was a priest, you had to have light feathers or to slow fall. You know, you had to have these things or your spells didn't work. And so I'm kind of glad they got rid of all that. Hey, Deaf Heads, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. Would you like a package from the Netherlands with some random Dutch stuff and food? Hey, always, Rucker, always. I love getting packages from friends, and I love to eat. I mean, you know, as you can tell, I love to eat. So always. I will send you my information later, my mailing address, if that's something you want to do, and I appreciate it. And what changes? Welcome. And any of you who are here right now, if you've not already subscribed to the channel, please do be sure to subscribe. It really would help me out. And I do want to make the channel grow as much as possible. And I want to give you guys the best channel that's available. I am working on it. Usually I'm working from a script. As you can tell today, I'm not really working from a script at all. I do have some bullet points wrote down that will give me some ideas of things that I wanted to bring up, but other than that, no script. Now, also, mining, herbs. You know, used to be back in the day, you had no other choice but to try to beat somebody to it. If Rutger was going for mining nodes and I was too, if I got to it first, he got beat out. He didn't get it. If I got to it first, or he got to it first, and I, you know, that's what I'm saying. Mailing address first, need to figure out how to send said box and what kind of balls are bound to it. Oh, okay. I will send that to you either in a private message or whatever. Just be sure to hit me up on Discord or whatever, and I'll get back to you. No problem. But like I said, the mining and urban, I personally like the way that it is now, because I can mine the same thing, but 15 other people are standing around mining for that same node, and we all get ore. So I think that's a good quality of life change. What about you guys? Is this something that that you enjoyed? Now, that's something that I had totally forgot about, but you're right. Used to be that it did give you a stamina buff if you was a miner. And, a lot of different buffs from different things. It did. And that... Okay, I will. I'll send it to you here in just a little bit. As soon as the live stream ends, that way I don't want to screw everything up and have live streams where it don't work right now. So, but I will get back to you in just a little bit. I'll make myself a note here, that way I don't forget. Okay, got the note made. Okay, so the next thing, okay, hold on. I'm not a fan of the changes that make everyone a winner. Life doesn't work that way. If I beat you to a mine or herb, I get it, and you or you can challenge me if you are of the other faction. I've got to say, I kind of see where you're coming from. Now don't get me wrong, it's nice to always go over and be able to level your stuff, because you always are getting the item. I do see that, but at the same time, that's what makes the value of gold go down. Okay, so I do see what you're saying. Let's say I'm leveling and I get 15 Serenite ores. You have only got 5. I can sell my 15 for more than you can 5, of course, and it's going to make me more gold. And it's going to be more expensive because not everybody gets it. So I do see what you're saying. Okay, Rucker, what would you think of a hunter game style PvP battleground? Like, you get into battleground, starts in the middle with 19 others, 20 total, and it's a free-for-all, one lace, one standing. Now that is actually a very good idea. I think that it would go over very well. And for example, make it to where the lace, one standing could possibly get so many points toward I don't know, maybe an epic weapon or an epic mount or whatever. Or they get so many, what is it now they're using? Doubloons or whatever. And you can now use that to buy, I don't know, gear, weapons, armor, pets, mounts, whatever, So I think that may be a very good idea, and it may be something that Blizzard would definitely be interested in. So, I would hit up a GM and give them a suggestion, let them know. Now, as far as the spurs, or what is it they call them now, mithril spurs or bell slate spurs or whatever, that basically makes it so you can't be knocked off of your mount, I wholeheartedly disagree with those. Personally, I like the idea of being able to dismount somebody. In fact, I think that if you're flying and I come up behind you and I want to attack, I should be able to attack you and knock you off your mount mid-air, And mostly, I'm not a fan of having to level a skill in order to be relevant to craft, ever in the newest content or highest zone, i.e., going back and giving and leveling a craft trade to be able to skill up. So, what changes? What would your suggestion be on that? what would you like to see Blizzard do to make it better? I guess is what I'm saying. What would your suggestion be if you had Ian Hezekiah or J. Allen Brack or whoever sitting right in front of you, and they said, what is your idea? How do you feel that we can make this better? What would your idea be? Because everybody has ideas. I mean, I know I have a ton of them. Like, for example, the mid-air PvP. I've always thought that would be a cool thing because it makes it so that you can kill people mid-air, you know? I mean, how's that not a winner, right? Also, I very much dislike the in-game. Okay, Rucker, we'll be here, bud. Hurry back. I very much dislike world chat or the voice chat in-game. I remember back in the day you could use Ventrilo, TeamSpeak, and things like that. The reason I don't like voice chat in World of Warcraft games is for people who don't have the absolute fantastic top of the line game computers or whatever. It can cause a lot of problems. It can cause your computer to lag. It can cause your frames per second to go down significantly. So to me, I think if you want voice chat, do it on something like Ventrilo or Discord or whatever. Next, I would have to say World Quest. Now, World Quest is a huge quality of life change. And, hold on, I would tell them bring back Honor and Conquest vendors again because the PvE grind is boring. You know, I never did agree with them taking away Honor and Conquest vendors because I always wanted to get all of the Honor gear, the shoulder pads, the weapons. You know, I always thought that would be cool to have the whole collection. And then I log in one day and I get an email saying that the Honor and Conquest was removed and that they was sending me so much gold for my Honor and my Conquest. So it was not a good thing. I wholeheartedly agree there. Now, again, I think the World Quests are a absolute great thing. It gives you the ability to get certain items that are going to help you with your, for example, your item level. Now, item levels, that's another big one. It's something that's a two-edged sword. Some people love it, some people hate it. Me, I can take it or leave it, you know. It's not that hard to get your item level up, I don't think, if you work it. But some people don't have the time to work hours upon hours per day in order to get it going. You know, get their item level to where it needs to be. You know? So, it's a two-edged sword. Now, World Quest, like I said, right now, I think is a great thing. Because, for example, couple days after, well, one day after hitting the 120 mark on my hunter, I was already doing the grind for Pathfinder Part 1, and I was getting my gear items, like, you know, armor and weapons and so on, from World Quest, and it was helping me increase my item level significantly, and it helped make things a lot better on me to get into raids, or not raids at the time, but dungeons and so on. People seen that my item level was going up, and they wanted to go ahead and get you in. Now, I do have one thing I did want to ask all of you about, and that is, as far as the world quests go right now, are you finding that you have problems when you log in, and let's say you're going over, let's say for example I'm Horde, which is what I play mostly, and all of a sudden I see a Cultiris item that I want, and I've got to go over and do world quests on Cultiris, which is one of the better ways of leveling your honor bound reputation. Are you having problems when you go over? Are you being like harassed by other players, or are you just turning off PvP while you do your dailies? Now, battle pits for me is one that I've never really had a big problem with. Battle pits, you know, they make it better for a lot of people. There are some people who absolutely love battle pits, and then there are some who absolutely hate battle pits. Me, I'm one who loves it as long as I can sell them. I'm not one that is into going out and battle pit, you know, fighting. But I do love getting the battle pits, catching them, caging them, selling them. So in that way, I think it's a good thing. And it also makes it easier. For example, let's say Tactical wants to create a character on my server. Okay, he can. He cages a few pets, sells them. He's got gold. You know? I have 120, and I'm leveling up tunes to 120. Oh, I turned it off because players would camp the world quest. Exactly. Now I will say, but when I was leveling, I leveled my characters all the way for, my character for one of his 120. I leveled him all the way in PvP mode, war mode. And the reason being, it was just giving me an extra bonus. It made things easier. It gave me a few more talents. And for the most part, at that point in time, you didn't see a lot of 120s because everything was new. You didn't have a lot of 120s. You had people that was leveling. And if you was leveling on Cultiris, you was not on Zandalar until you hit 120. So, you know, it worked out. Now, right now, I don't think I would want to go war mode as easy. So, let's see here. Also, your PvP servers. I know that some of you guys are... very much into PvP. What do you think about the fact that PvP will be back to the way it used to be? You hit /PvP, boom, you're PvP'd in vanilla, in classic. But right now, I mean, you know, they're gone. There is no PvP servers. They don't really matter what server you pick now. Because unless you flag or use war mode while you're in a major city, then there is no PvP. Which means no accidental ganking or ganking somebody while you're, that's PvP while they're trying to level. Now, one quality of life change that I do have to say I absolutely despise. And a lot of people have said, oh, you're crazy. That's the best quality of life change there is. I don't think so. And that would be the professions, the way they're broke up. At first I thought, it could be interesting. But I don't like it. And here's why. If, let's say right now, I wanted to start a brand new character. Used to be, you had to level 1. Let's say the level cap would have been, well, it would have been 900 in Battle for Azeroth, okay? You would have to go from 1 to 900, okay? You had to take the time to learn each and every individual thing that you needed to level up. It was none of this, screw the others, I'm just going to do Battle for Azeroth content. You couldn't do that. And that's the way I think it should be, because in all honesty, you know, if you're going to be an astronaut, you don't say, screw the training, I'm just going to go ahead and go walk on the moon. You know, it's kind of like doing away with a lot of the game. Okay, I kind of like and dislike war mode. I did enjoy being able to just activate PvP when you wanted to. Like when you see a horde buddy getting attacked and you just rush in to help him. Now see, in my way of looking at it, I can see both sides. I like war mode because it does away with the PvP servers. Okay, when I very first started, I was on a PvP server because a friend of mine told me, oh, you level 10 times faster. No, you don't. you don't. So I got on that server, had a character, I think it was level 32. And then I said, the heck with it, I quit. I'm not playing that server no more. I'm not playing that character no more. He is trapped there, and that was it. I never did delete him. He's still hanging around with like the last 14 years of rested experience. So literally, I should be able to go kill a cockroach and have him at 120. So, but I don't think it'll be that easy. But anyway, I do see what you're saying there. Now, I did like the flexibility of the /PvP. I do think that they should add like /war mode so you can toggle it anywhere and you don't have to make a trip all the way back to town. But like I was saying with the professions, it takes so much away for you to be able to just say, I'm going to just do Battle for Azeroth. Now at first I thought this was going to be a great thing. I'm not so sure. Okay, Rucker, what was the last thing you was able to hear? Just let me know what was the last thing you was able to hear. Can't wait for the Mythic Raid to come out so I can run in and one-shot players in PvP and say, oh Lord, it takes skill when it don't gear to win, LOL. You know, I'll be honest with you, I think that I think a lot of people look at it the way you do. In a lot of ways, they kind of do. Okay, Rutger, what did you hear? What was I saying when the sound went out? I guess what I'm getting at. Okay, well, as I was saying, you know, PvP servers I think are, well, but they're gone. In a lot of ways, that's a good thing because it makes it so that you get to pick, and no matter what server you're on, you can either PvP or you can not PvP. It's up to you. You don't have to worry about, you know, somebody coming along and ganking you. If you don't want to PvP down or toggle off war mode or whatever. You know, that's a great part about it. Now, the professions being broke up, I don't think that's a good idea. In all honesty, I don't like it. At first, I thought I would, but not so much. Because here's the thing. If you go to a doctor and he says, Rutger, we're going to have to do brain surgery on you. Now, don't worry. I'm skilled in my trade. I did bypass medical school, and I just said, I'm going to do brain surgery, so here I am. I just started this morning. You're my very first patient, so let's go ahead and cut you open. You're not going to like that doctor. You're not going to want that doctor. Why? Because he didn't put time in. He did not do what was needed. He did not do what he should have. You know what I'm saying? So he didn't pay his dues, I guess is what I'm getting at. And to me, jumping straight in and making in-game materials for example, Battle for Azeroth, and having not done anything prior to that, is kind of about the same thing. Now, what do you guys think? Do you like the ability of just jumping straight in and going to Battle for Azeroth content, or do you think it's a big screw up? And finally, one of the quality of life changes that kind of upsets me. I'm not going to lie to you, this one kind of upsets me. And that is, if you come into this game right now as a new player, you do not have to pay for World of Warcraft, for Burning Crusades, Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, Mist of Pandaria. You don't have to pay for Warlords of Draenor. You don't have to pay for Legion. That is 7 parts of the game, but you get for free by just starting to pay $15 a month. Okay? And to me, I think that is, I don't know, I don't like it. You know, all throughout the years, I've had to pay for each and every expansion. I had to pay for my base game. My base game, I believe, back in the day was $49.99. You know. Okay, Rucker, we'll talk to you later, buddy, and hopefully you'll make it back. And I will send you, yeah, I will. Hey, if not, I will be around, my friend. I will be around. I'll send you that information. I've got my note right here to remind me. But, you know, as I was saying, I don't think that it should have been just handed to the new players, you know. You got a new player, he comes in, he automatically just starts $15, and now he has everything all the way up to Legion. Okay. Do you know how easy that's going to make it for gold farmers? Do you know how easy that's going to make it for people to abuse the system? I don't know. I'm not happy with it. And I know that Blizzard, quite frankly, does not care if one little person, one YouTuber is happy with it. But my personal thought is, now, if they wanted to make it for example, a Battle for Azeroth opening special, hey folks, anybody who goes ahead and starts now and subscribes to World of Warcraft, you're not going to have to pay for the next 90 or the next 10 days. Anybody who signs up as a new World of Warcraft customer is not going to have to pay to get the game all the way up to Legion. Make it a promo. That's okay. Okay, I get that. You do that because you want more people to come in. I get that. But what I don't get is making it just standard, you know? I mean, people can abuse that. People can manipulate it. To me, I think that's just kind of stupid. I don't agree with it at all. Now, are there any quality of life changes that I've missed? Are there any quality of life changes that you can remember that you think is either a good thing or a bad thing? Definitely, come on guys, let me know what you think. Let me know if you can think of a quality of life change that has helped the game and should be allowed in Classic. Or if you think of one but shouldn't, let me know. You know, because we're all in this together. Hopefully, when BlizzCon goes live this year, hopefully they'll give us a more detailed date and time as to when we can expect the new game. You know, well, not new game, but when we can expect to see Classic. Hey, Slowpoke, how's it going? And I'm assuming that this is your boy Slowpoke, or are you a different person? Because the Slowpoke name is something that we've seen before, but I don't think I've seen yours. Angry about the honor and conquest points, need them back to gear just in PvP. Now see, tactical, I got to say, I think that PvPers for a lot of years have got the shaft. I do. I honestly do. Because PvE people had raids up on top of raids. They had crafted gear that they could use to go and get what they needed. They had, it was endless. But PvPers kind of got the shaft. They had a very limited amount of ways to gear up, and honor and conquest points was 2 of them. Oh, okay. I was just getting ready to ask you if you had changed name. So, Slowpoke, how are you enjoying the Battle for Azeroth so far? And can you think of any quality of life changes that Blizzard has made that affected the game in a positive or a negative way? We've been talking about a ton of them here so far, and I think that most of them, while they might be good in the current game, I hope and I pray that 99% of them stays out of Classic. And I'm in very big hopes that we'll see Classic announcement of Classic, I should say, coming in BlizzCon this year. I would be surprised if we didn't, and hopefully I'm not surprised. Now, I will say this, for those of you who have been wanting to know, I've had a lot of you send me messages wanting to know how my father-in-law's doing. First of all, I do appreciate all of your kindness, your kind words, your thoughts. He is doing some better. They did find that he has prostate cancer. They are going to have to go in and remove the prostate. And they found a 2.5 centimeter mass on his lungs. So they're going to have to go in and check that, see what that is. Hopefully it's not also cancer. And we also found out that he has had a heart attack that we was not aware of. With that being said, they are going to have to go in on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, and do a heart catheter and check, see if stents will work. If they will, then they just put in a few stents, and that's about it. And it hopefully it don't end up with open heart surgery. So just keep us all in your prayers, and I do appreciate it. I essentially quit about a week ago. It's become boring in my opinion with all the class changes and the depth from Legion to the shallow puddle of that is BFA. I don't know, it's just not for me anymore, especially with the rip grinds being used as progression. Hey guys, sorry about that. The microphone went out on me. Slowpoke, I'm read what you said here. I essentially quit about a week ago. It's become boring in my opinion, and with all the class changes and the depth from the Legion to the shallow puddle that it is in BFA. I don't know, it's just not for me anymore, especially with all the rep grinds being used as progression. Now, okay, can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. It looks like it's working on my end, but I just want to make sure before I go any further. Okay, so can you hear me now? Okay, so as I was saying, I hope that that you change your mind and but you don't leave the game. Even more so, I hope you don't leave the channel. You're a good friend, you're a good subscriber, and I don't want to see you just walk away. I do understand, but at times we have to take a break. I understand that greatly. I've had to do it myself a few times. As I said, my father-in-law, I've got a lot going on with him, and the horde leveling is fun. I do love leveling on the horde. I've not leveled an alliance yet, so I guess we'll wait and see. Getting ready to start shortly and try to level an alliance. Maybe I may even do that on live stream, if, a time or two. But Slowpoke, I do have to say, and I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek into something that's coming this week. Something I've been working on, a pet project, if you will. Black Empire Rises. That's it. Get ready for it because it is going to be a big one. You're going to see why I think the Black Empire will rise, and also why I think we now know what the next expansion, which Blizzard has already said they're working on already. Why do I think that the next expansion is going to be what it is? And if you want to know what that expansion idea that I have is, if you want to know why I think the Black Empire is going to rise, be sure to check out the videos this week coming. I'll still be here. My sub is active still. Vanilla in the coffin. Vanilla in the coffin for me was the guild fell apart, and with a barrel in a bad spot, I really don't want to re-roll. So in essence, I've gone casual. So what was your was you a raider, or was you a PvP guild, or what? Because you can always server transfer, and you can use gold, buy the tokens, and then transfer. It's just an idea, but definitely I think that everybody's going to be surprised coming forward, going forward with what's coming up. And also, guys, if you didn't hear it earlier, or you was not here for that announcement, BlizzCon 2018 will be live streamed on this channel. I will be live streaming everything that is World of Warcraft. All of the World of Warcraft panels, questions and answers, announcements, anything to do with World of Warcraft will be live streamed on this channel. So be sure to, if you're not going to be able to make it yourself and you just don't have the extra money, or you don't want to waste the gold or whatever to be able to purchase the ticket, don't worry. Here, this channel, we've got you covered. Also, guys, when you watch one of my videos, if you would, please do a comment, even if it's nothing but to say, hey, Hawk, good video, or bad video, your video stinks, or how's your day, or, you know, just some kind of comment. And be sure to give the videos that you watch a thumbs up. It would help me out a lot, because YouTube sees that as engagement, and the more engagement that each one of my videos get, the more they see that my videos are more popular, I guess, and they're going to start putting them out there in front of other people. And the more people who see it, the more the channel grows, and the better things go. So I would greatly appreciate that. I was a raider. I can't transfer. I've made some really good friends in my guild. But if a few of them switch to Horde, I'll gladly switch with them. I actually want Magheart orcs, unlike dirty dark irons. Yeah. Well, you know, in all honesty, I've been working like a wild man to get the Magheart orc unlocked, and I'm getting close. But, you know, see, with me, you know how, like, for the Horde you have Talanji Expedition, Zandalar Empire, the Heroes of, or Champions of Azeroth, Honor Bound, the Tortillian Seekers, and there's another one, but I can't think of it. Anyway, you have all of those, but you have to get, you know, up. You have to get them to Revered in order to clear part 1 of Pathfinder. Okay, every one of them have to be revered. Well, that's what I'm kind of doing as I go. If I log in today and I see that there's 15 quests for, I don't know, Honor Bound, and there's 7 world quests for Tortillian, I'm going to do them all. That way, all of my reputation is going to go up, up, up. And also, Slowpoke, you do know that there's a way of getting a lot of reputation per day with your factions. Like, for example, if you're, yeah, but right, Boldoon, right. I knew I forgot somebody. I just didn't know who. But for example, yesterday I done Champions of Azeroth. But I had like 4 quests to do. Done them. Went and turned them in. And immediately it gave me 1,500 experience or reputation. Well, you know, there's only so many reputations or so many of them that you can get. You're going to sooner or later get revered or exalted with all of them. I use the contracts The contracts give you, I believe it is 7 days. At first, there was no limit. It was, as long as you want to use it, use it. But now it's 7 days. And it gives you, I think, I want to say 10. No matter what quest you do or world quest you do, you're going to get 10 reputation with that that faction that you have the contract with. Now, I wonder, has anybody heard anything about when we can look forward to seeing Pathfinder Part 2? Because I'm getting very, 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 very close to having Pathfinder Part 1 done. Just a little bit curious as to if we'll, when we'll have Pathfinder Part 2. Because I have a feeling it's going to be a very quick and easy one. Or at least I hope so. Because, I have a lot of alts. I also know a lot of friends, and a lot of you guys even, which are friends, and so on, that are waiting for flying in order to start leveling your alts. So I'm wondering when Pathfinder Part 2 will be available. As a matter of fact, let me see. Now, if I lose sound, let me know. Okay. An easy one? Or at least I hope so. Because, let me check. I'm going to see and take a look here. Yeah, I'm thinking it'll be probably 8.2 or so on. Do we know when that will be? I think it's going to be next year sometime. Well, Kelly, I don't know. I'm hoping you're wrong. I definitely do want that Pathfinder Part 2 ASAP. Simply because, just makes things easier for leveling your alts. Now, you may very well be right. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, so let's take a look. Pathfinder Part 2 BFA. Okay, so there are some articles coming up on this, but I don't know if there are any of them that make any sense. Let's see here. Wowhead. How to unlock. Okay, Part 1. We already have. We already know about that. But it's not telling us anything about Part 2. So we may have to wait until next year. I'm hoping not. Guys, you very well may be right. It may be. It may be. Now, do any of you have any questions for me? Because I do have planned to only go about another 15 minutes or so. Like I said, normally my streams have been roughly about an hour or between an hour and a half lately. And today I am going a little bit longer. But I want to give you guys a chance to, let me know if you have any questions. Any questions or comments even, but you want to make. And what time I got you guys here? What do you think about the new thumbnail styles that I'm using? Because your opinion does mean a lot. I mean, if you like them, you're going to click on them. If not, you're, quite frankly, if you don't like the thumbnail, I've learned that a lot of people, if they don't like the thumbnail, they're not going to click on it, no matter what the title is. So, what do you think about the thumbnails lately? I've been definitely experimenting, working on different ones, trying to make them a little bit better, a little bit, more eye-popping. So, what do you guys think? And as I said, any questions, comments, anything at all, just let me know. No, I've not done any raids yet. Quite frankly, because my guild has 100% a full raid. Actually, we have 4 different raids. 4 different raid groups, and they're all full. So I've not yet, but I am going to do the looking for raid version, just for fun of it. Okay, what got you into Warcraft series, if you don't mind my accent? Not at all, Slowpoke. What had happened? My younger brother, he was playing. The game had just come out. He had went and bought the game like the same day it come out. And I was playing the game, or he was playing the game rather, when I went in. I told him, I said, hey, Mom said come and eat. He said, well, here, you can keep me alive. Just, move me around. If something tries to kill me, stop it. And I'm going to go get my plate, and I'll be back. He walks away, leaves me there. Well, obviously he died a few different times. He may not know it, but he did die. And I was tinkered around with it. I liked it. Everything was crisp. It was very, very interesting. And when he come back, he said, "Okay, you can hand me the game now. You can go ahead. You can go ahead and get up. I got it." And finally, I told him, I said, in a minute, because I was getting into the game. I loved what I was seeing. He said, if you are that much into it, just go buy the daggone game and play it yourself. But I want my game back. So I said, okay, fine. That's what I'll do. Went a couple days later. By the time I got the game, it was on day 5 of 5 days after the release of Warcraft. Actually, World of Warcraft. And by the time I got it installed, because back then you had to install, it wasn't like a digital download like it is now. And more or less, I just Okay, can you hear me now? Okay. As I was saying, started playing when I went and told him that my mom had supper ready and he had me play to keep him alive. Been hooked on the game ever since. By the time I got my game, it was 5 days after the release of right, and 5 days after the release, and that was it. I love the game. Have always loved the game. For me, the games like Warcraft, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, they're good, but they're not my kind of game. Okay, I like something like World of Warcraft, Diablo, StarCraft, that kind of thing. How many of you here would be interested in also seeing videos on games like how many of you would be interested in seeing things like on games, for example, Diablo, or maybe Hitman? For those of you who don't already know, Hitman, the one that was live and it's like Hitman Online kind of thing, is getting ready to come out with a new one. They are coming out, I want to say in November, October, November, something of that nature, with part 2. So how many of you would be interested in seeing other games streamed or other game videos occasionally? And I'm not going to say that I'll do it often, because quite honestly, World of Warcraft is my favorite game, and it is one that I play more than anything at all. But let me know what you think. And also, if at any time you guys have any requests, if there's anything you want to see on the channel, just let me know. Unless it's Diablo or WoW, I can't be bothered. Hey, I definitely understand that. I'd be up for videos on the other games as well, but only as long as you enjoy it. Well, I enjoy all the games. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I do. I enjoy Diablo. I enjoy all of them, really. I played Warcraft 2 when I was 13 or 14. Then Warcraft 3 when I was 18. I missed all of WoW because of school. School came in during the end of Wrath. Hey, a lot of people have a similar story to what you're saying there, man. You're by far, you're not the only one that have that. You usually catch me on StarCraft myself, Hawk. And I apologize every time you do, but I can't respond just two-faced. Oh, I definitely understand that. Well, Tactical, I think you will definitely like the Classic WoW. Now, and I've got to ask, Tactical, I have you on Battle Tag. But I see double of you. I literally see 2 battle tags with your name, with Tactical on it. Now, are both of those you, or do I have 2 different Tacticals on my list? And the reason I say that is one has one. The only difference is the avatar. But yeah, so I'm definitely thinking that this year we're going to get some more announcements. Hopefully we'll get some announcements on the Classic World of Warcraft, when it's coming out and so on. Okay, I wanted to make sure because, I just didn't know. But guys, if you look for me online next week's going to be a very busy week, okay? Like I said, and I don't know if you could hear me earlier or if the speaker, if the sound cut out at that point, but my father-in-law does have to go in for surgery. He has to go in for a heart catheter, possibly stents, and maybe even open heart surgery on Tuesday of this week coming. So I may not be on for a day or two, but I do have videos that are scheduled to release like clockwork. So you won't be missing out on any videos, and I'll keep you guys up to date with a live stream as to what's going on. Maybe a pop-up. Now, I have learned already not to use my cell phone because the quality stinks with live streaming from it. So I will start using my my tablet in order to do live streams when I'm out. But any other questions? Have a few more minutes here. Any questions, any comments, anything at all? And also for those of you, like I said, if you watch a video of mine, please, and I'm being very serious here, please comment on that video. Let me, get a comment from you. Let me get a thumbs up from you or whatever. So let me know. That way it helps out the channel. I'm going to check on dinner. Have a good one. Home. You too, Tactical, and I will see you later, probably in game. If not, I'll talk to you when I do see you again, buddy. You have a good one and enjoy the weekend. Winding down here with just a few more minutes to go. We have 5 more minutes and then the stream will be ending. So if anybody has any questions, now's the time. Pop them up. If you are watching this on playback and you have questions, drop them in the comment section. Alrighty, Slowpoke. And buddy, I will say this. I hope we can get you over onto the Horde. I do. Because to be honest with you, I think you are... You seem to be a very good player. You seem to be somebody who has a lot of, passion for the game. You love the game. And I honestly think... Have you ever played Horde at all? Because I found out some time back, some years back I should say, if you've been primarily Horde and you get bored, try Alliance. If you've been primarily Alliance and you get bored, try the Horde. Things do change. Everything is different. And you may just find a new, a new permanent home. So, like I said, have you ever played the Horde, or would this be your first Horde character? And guys, and I'm going to go ahead and do my wrap up here. If there's any comments or anything, go ahead. Okay, I have a couple Horde characters. One as a shaman, 116. The other warrior, 113. Both orcs. Started WoW as a Horde back in BC. Hey man, we'd be glad to have you back. You know, we need all the good players. So go ahead and come on back over to the Horde. You know, and I don't know if you can see it, and I don't know if it's not going to reach. I don't think. No, I'll have to make some changes to where it can be seen. Hold on, I may be able to. But somebody had sent me this, and if you look in the unboxing video, you'll see it being opened. Hold on. This is a pretty neat little thing. I don't know if you can see it, but it lights up in different colors. Okay, I have to be careful because I just found out that what runs the one also runs my other track lights that I got above. I didn't know that one remote control done both. But guys, that's going to wrap it up for this video, this live stream. Again, I do want to thank all of you for being a subscriber, being a viewer of the channel. If you're not already a subscriber, please do subscribe to the channel now. It would greatly mean a lot to me. Also, when you watch my videos, if you would, be sure to also give a like, thumbs up, whatever you want to call it, and drop a comment. It would mean a lot. So, but for now, I do appreciate everybody, and I'll see you soon in Azeroth.